Hello everyone, this is Roberta Fox of Fox Group Technology, where this month we're sharing insight and opinions and feedback on a couple of things. We'll give you some highlights from the Avaya Users Group and Consultant Conference, as well as some updates with what's happening with Avaya and what we think it means to business and mid-sized market customers. The first thing that we thought was interesting that we promised from last month was that we'd give you some behind-the-scenes numbers related to the Avaya Olympics. One of the things that was most interesting here was that this Olympics was actually the very first one that was totally IP-based video. And what that means for those of you that are technocrats and audiophiles like myself, it really means that there was no CATV, there was no coax, all video broadcast, LAN, WAN, international was all IP-based. It was also the first Olympics that was BYOD. And as you can imagine, the combination of those two factors meant that they had to have humongous amount of network capabilities. One of the things that was interesting with this Olympics as well was the fact that how much social media was present. So for the opening ceremonies, for example, the Twitterverse was the big, most highly used feed, as you can see from the slides in our deck that we got from Avaya. What was also interesting was that for the closing ceremonies, they were using Dropbox as the primary mechanism, and then iTunes. So I guess there was lots of video being downloaded and visual images. Makes us wonder about what this impact means on international copyright and licensing, since the Olympics are so geared to getting their money for everybody that participates. So what did that really mean? We got some neat stats from Avaya about the firsts. Like there was, for example, there was 120,000 mobile devices, up to 3 devices per person. There was a 450 megabits second of streaming video, etc., etc. The point of it is, there was a heck of a lot of video applications that they had to transport. So the good news is it all worked, and they got to really test Avaya's new Fabric Connect network technology. I thought we'd also give you a strategic update. Stephen had the opportunity to sit in on sessions related to what Kevin Kennedy, the president, wanted to talk about. And so this slide highlights what they really believe is their transformation results.
You can see on this slide that they've been purchasing technologies that they want to keep control of, and where they can't do that, or it's just not the right idea at the moment, they're partnering. And so the combination of purchasing what they need and partnering with companies that have what they need is filling out their portfolio very nicely.
Well, in addition to that, Steve, I thought it was also interesting that they've formed strategic alliances at all different levels. So whether that's at the services and support, all the way through up to clients and devices. The next thing we thought was interesting was their move in enhancements in the product portfolio on the UC collaboration. So what we mean by that is that more and more, as we're hearing from our client projects at Fox Group, there's a lot more video, collaboration, application, messaging, and presence sharing. And so what Avaya has done is they brought some new features to market, but more importantly, I think, is that they're really being very aware of optimizing bandwidth for the user experience to make sure that it really works. This next slide was interesting because what it shows for the market is that we have video conferencing and we have UC conferencing, and there's many different applications here, but I think the part is that no one size fits all, and it really means that you have to be able to coexist. So if you're making technology acquisitions and purchases, you have to map out your current and your future technologies and then what you want to work together, and make sure that you've defined that with the vendors so that they know and can make sure everything's going to work. So I think it's really interesting that those two markets are converging. They're data products that they call Fabric Connect.
Specifically, Fabric Connect technology is finding a home. Companies that do a lot of multicasting. So if you're multicasting, Fabric Connect with their level 2 technology is turning out to be demonstrably better. Fabric Connect combined with shortest path bridging, working at level 2 instead of level 3, is performing much better on real-time communications, especially of course with multicasting.
Next on the conference that Steve attended was the IP Office Contact Center areas. Now this is an area that Avaya had not really made that much headway up until recently. So what they've realized is that combining the multi-channel experience, what that really means for those of us business leaders is that it's really about bringing video, voice, text, as messaging, emails together. they've really scaled. What they've done with the new platforms is they've scaled down the portfolio so that they can be used for smaller businesses. And then the applications have scaled down, but the IP Office platform has scaled up. So this is really going to be very powerful for the mid-sized organizations that have been grossly underserved in the past by the whole industry. I think it's also, as it applies in Canada, it's going to be useful for organizations that have maybe 1,000 people, but maybe they only have 25 to 50 contact center agents, and they do want to add this next generation multimodal or multimedia capabilities to it. So something to check out when you're looking for your next generation acquisitions. One of the things also that we thought was interesting, this visual here that we show how Avaya and others have really looked at how they've reinvented products. So a couple years ago, it would take a cabinet full of equipment, and now you can have a single server that can serve a lot of different devices and lots more people. So, what that means overall is it's less power, it's less time and effort to manage, and obviously less cost overall. So I think that's a good move. So what we thought about as well is that there's now changes where they're looking at making applications easier and faster to deploy. This is particularly important when you start to want to add business communications enabled programs to click. So for example, you have an insurance form and you want to click me back to give me a status on my claim. So you've got the insurance claim systems and you want to have it easily that the agent or even the insurance adjuster or the claims person could just make the click.
Specifically, this is referring to the Avaya Aura collaboration environment. They're using snap-in applications. These snap-in applications are quick and easy to develop, and they even have what they refer to as a collaboratory. So this is where developers can actually sign up for as little as $1,000 for a 3-month subscription to access Avaya's own laboratories in order to test and to develop their little snap-in applications.
In summary, from our May 2014 YouTube on Avaya events, the 3 things that I observed from all the information we reviewed is Avaya has improved in collaboration. They're working with other vendors. They've really beefed up their data offerings with their Fabric Connect, and near and dear to our hearts with the IP Office enhancements, bringing the enterprise class contact center applications down to smaller organizations, which is really important. So, what does this all mean to customers? Well, I think in Fox Group we help a lot of people acquire next generation technologies. We even have our new e-procurement tools, and here's a quick example of something where somebody has to look at what decisions and what percentages are they going to use making decisions. So I think, the net of it is clients like yourselves need to really look at what's important, what does all this new technology mean, and how does it score, and what's the effects of it. So it could apply the technology understanding, could apply to corporate qualifications where Avaya is improving their financials. So it's up to you folks to figure out what's important, what do you want to be able to use in the future, define it to the clients. So as I mentioned about our decision factors, if you need some help on this, we can certainly help you. And as a reminder, we work on developing strategies, technology solutions to acquire and deploy technology. If anybody's not quite sure what they want to do with all this new technology and what it means to your organization, or you want to see some demos of our new e-procurement tools, we look forward to offering you no charge for a fireside chat via one of our web tools. It could be GoToMeeting, it could be Microsoft Link. And what we'll do is you send us a list of some of your questions that you have, and we'll go over them with you and give you some of our insight, and hopefully give you some comfort that these new next generation technologies are ready to go and can really make a difference. That's it for this month, and talk to you later.